We are back from Ohio, and we are finally getting back to work on this Harley Davidson. We got some awesome news. We were able, while we were in Ohio, to strike a deal on Awesome Fan, and we're gonna have a brand new engine for this weekend. So we're gonna move on from the engine, and we're gonna start working on the tins. We're gonna rip the bike apart, and we're gonna get it painted. Hillbilly's in the shop working, so we're gonna go interrupt him.
Hillbilly,
Yes.
you ready to work?
I've been working.
What are you doing?
Just got done pulling the bedside off of this bed because it needs replaced.
Are you ready to work on the Harley?
I'm always ready to work on Harley.
Let's go.
All right, we got the Billy Hill. Hi.
It's me. I'm not the problem. It's not me.
It is him. We're gonna take these saddlebags off, then we're gonna pull the skins off, and then he gets to do the dirty work because I have a Jeep to work on. It's on the frame rack, and it's been on the frame rack for 2.5 weeks while I was in Ohio. Well, we were in Ohio, building the most epic 1957 Chevy Bel Air to ever graze
Across
this
the country.
shop. Nice thing about these saddlebags is they're,
Quick release.
boom, look at that. Look at it. And these have to be sanded. All right, so these have got these cool little quick release thingy majiggers.
Isn't this what your body panel is
Here.
going to be held on with?
Probably, but these are gonna fall out if we
Yeah, I just noticed that.
take the rub. You could probably take the rubbers out. He's gonna start pulling the rear fender off. I'm gonna start working on the front fender.
You need to find a new bracket. Get rid of the
He
homemade
really
one.
needs to buy a new bracket. We got a homemade one on here.
Pushing that way on the tire, and you can see a rub
Oh,
mark.
yeah, it is.
You can
Got
see
a
a
rub
rub mark on the tire.
Hillbilly likes rub marks, but I don't. I'm gonna get my fender begone tools and remove it. I'm trying to find a wrench, but my wrench drawer has been pillaged. That's all I know.
Hey, why don't you use your brand new wrenches you got?
Well, because I don't want. Why would I open my new ones when I have old ones that are missing? I can't find my wrenches because they're missing. So I found my little baby pliers, like a little baby bird. I'm gonna attempt to undo these little tiny nuts. My little tiny pliers. That ain't gonna work. Said somebody with monkey hands had to have installed these because they do not want to come loose.
Not I.
Hillbilly, did you hear the good news?
What good news?
I saved 15% on my car insurance by switching to... Just kidding. But I found you an engine.
Really? Where?
It's in Tempe, Arizona.
That's clear out there.
No, it's getting delivered. So it'll be here Saturday. And then, so hypothetically speaking, if you hustle and we are able to paint this very soon, you'll be able to ride this during the summer. Does anybody think that'd be awesome? To see Hillbilly on his new Harley, all repainted with a new engine, cruising during the summer instead of having to wait forever? Let us know. Let us know if that'd be exciting.
Well, yeah.
I'm so excited. I just can't hide it.
He doesn't seem very excited.
He never does.
When we were driving home, he was excited.
He was even more excited when I let him drive.
He's speechless.
He is speechless. Well, that was super difficult. All for one fender. Now, Hillbilly gets to sand it. Oh, look, there's some old paint on there. The old paint job's on half of the lower fender. Maybe we could erase it and see what it looks like.
Trying to get some of this rust broke free off of this bolt so it'll actually come out. Nope. Because it's an Allen head bolt, and I pounded a Torx bit into it, not an Allen head. There. That's why I pounded into it, and it's supposed to be an Allen head.
Does it hurt the tool?
No, don't hurt the tool. Hurts the bolt. Now let's hope that back one comes out with ease.
Oh, it is. It's coming out.
And then there's a nut on the back. My wife's backrest. Chromie, you look good. I'll have to clean it up before I put it back on, so it's easier to clean. About to have the fender off, maybe. There's a bolt that's stuck in there I gotta get off. Right there, little tiny bolt. Nope, I have to get some pliers. Thank goodness. It broke, so I didn't have to take it all the way out. And that is to remove my fuse box. Boom. Gotta take everything off the fender, this back rack, the lights, to where we can sand it.
This might appear like a mess, but this is an organized clutter. We know right where everything's at. Hillbilly's gonna fix the fender. Front fender's upside down getting scratched like it needs to be. We got saddlebags and gas tanks. Did you drain the gas out of those?
Yes, sir.
I have collision work that is required to get done. I've been neglecting it, and so we're gonna go do it. Another terrible idea I had, Hillbilly, on that Toyota, to buy another one is expensive. and I found some that are in the exact same condition, I'm half tempted to
Get a
cut the
couple of
floor
them and
out.
start making
No.
one good one.
Heck no, cut the floor and build a floor. That sounds like a horrible idea, but I was just thinking about it. Who knows?
We're going to get these boxes disassembled. So I have to take the tail lights out, the lock out, the latch. In order to get the latch out, got to pop it off. So it's like this. That clips onto the bottom of this, and this end slides through, so that way it can't just pop out, and it locks the box shut. These are some fancy lights. They're way nice. They just unscrew. The screws on the back of the bulb. So in order to get this lock out, I have to get the finger off, which this is the finger. It comes in like this and hits this bracket, and you can't open it. But I don't have the key for this lock, but our local hardware store has this style of lock. I just gotta go take this in, get the right length and size of lock, and then I'll have a key for it. Now it's the fun part. Signing in 320.
So what I just did now, I call this pre-pulling. So I pulled this upper rail, and you can see it's kind of where it needs to be. It's totally crushed. I'm going to change it and actually access inside. So I'm going to take this panel out next, go grab my belt sander, and I'm going to start sanding it off. All right, so I've got all my tools to go in and start cutting that off. These are most important. Snap-on safety glasses. You go through and you break the spot weld.
So now I'm working on the gas tank. Ew. Gross. Might want to stick some water or something in there and rinse it out. This is going a lot faster than the fender was.
So this has got an old paint job underneath it, so he doesn't need to go to bare metal. This has the factory paint. He just needs to get off all the shiny stuff, all the paint that's been put over it. If you have a good solid substrate, there's no reason to strip the bare metal. The only reason you're stripping it is if you have an issue with adhesion. But I don't think he has an adhesion issue on me. All right, so Hillbilly's gonna sand a little bit more on this fender, and then we're gonna take off for the night, so we'll be back tomorrow. It is tomorrow. I've gotta pull this door off, so I'm pulling the speaker wire out to stay with the body. And now, I just gotta undo the bolts that hold the hinge. Be able to slide this door off so I can really assess exactly what I need to do to get underneath here and pull this upper rail out. This door's never been off. These hinges have never come apart, so they are stuck. So I'm taking the hinge plates off because I've got to cut this skin off anyways. I'll just pull these off, make it easier, and then there's a lot of corrosion in this Jeep. This thing is from Maryland, right by the ocean. So I'm not sure what Hillbilly's up to. He's supposed to be sanding his parts, so here in a second we'll go check on him.
What are you doing?
Cleaning.
Are you all done sanding?
Yes.
Wow.
So we're getting some welding blankets hung up because I'm going to start grinding this section off. What I'm going to do is just cut here and here, pull the A-pillar out, then I'm going to get the inner brace out. Then I can get that off because we're going to be changing this. We've already ground on it. I'll just finish grinding it. We'll get a new A-pillar section. We'll section it in, and then the inner brace will also section. So I'm going to get to doing that.
Going through boxes and figuring out what all stuff we have for the Jeep that Robby's working on. This is the front fender, and there's two other boxes down here that I gotta open up and figure out what they are.
So I've got all the spot welds cut. Well, I've got them ground. So I'm going to go through, think about them, like I showed you guys before. So when a vehicle is built with spot welds. And when you unbuild it, you got to cut the spot welds. Cutting all these spot welds the best I can. What I'll do now is I'll go grab my die grinder, and I'm actually going to die grind through here to get this panel off. So right now I'm just dissecting things. When we go to rebuild it, we'll actually go to seams, to our section points, and do everything proper. But right now, it's trying to get down to the base so I can get these panels out.
I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to mount everything on these stands.
What is everything?
Both gas tanks, both fenders, which the fenders are going to be easy to figure out. What's not going to be easy to figure out is boxes. I've gas tanks figured out how to mount them, now I'm just working on the fenders.
Yeah.
Batting wire fixes a lot of things. Holds a lot of things in place too.
Because that will not feel like that by itself.
You don't think so?
No.
taking these lids off so that way we can actually paint it, the inner bead seam also. In order to do that, you got to drill these rivets out.
Sometimes you gotta improvise and use different types of cutters. I used my big grinder, my little air file, and now I'm using my seam buster to cut the inside of this corner, because you don't want to just cut all the way through. You'll cut through the inner reinforcement. Nobody wants that. All right, that corner is cut. Now I'll get working on my seam buster. Get everything peeled away. Oh, I missed one right there. I gotta cut the top.
Now the moment we've all been waiting for, taping it up. I already got the fender done, front and rear fender done. Now, you just gotta do these, the boxes.
All right, now I can hopefully figure out how to get this off and really see where we're at. That's gonna be a fun one. One thing I also noticed is that this whole lower pillar, and I'm probably gonna hook a chain up to this first and pull it, this whole thing is in. So that's why the top of the door was out. This whole pillar is shoved back. So I'm gonna do a pre-pull on that before we disconnect it. I'm just gonna put a bolt in. I'm gonna grab this lower bolt hole on the hinge, put the chain up to it. We're just gonna get this to come out, and I'm gonna physically watch. Actually, I might have to take this panel out. I'll figure that out real quick. Probably pull this panel out to where I can actually hit it with a hammer. But if you look in here, you can see that the inner panels are separating right there, which in turn would make that door pop out. So that is pushed in, top of door comes out, pull it out, top of door goes in. Now, some shops could have just adjusted that bolt, the lower hinge, and it would have set that door back where it needs to be. But we're gonna pull it because we have a frame wrap. Has anybody checked on Hillbilly?
Yeah, he's masking his motorcycle.
Oh, okay. See how this is all pushed in? That's separated and this is all bent. I'm gonna pull it all back out. All right, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna pull some pressure and then I'm gonna tap on the inside to get that to come out. So what I'm gonna do is that's about right where I want it. So I'm gonna over pull just a hair so when it springs back, it goes where I want it. And now I'll show you how it's all straight. The crack is tight, this is straight. And now I can just change this reinforcement panel that's actually damaged. But the inner structure right here is straightened. I believe when I go to hang the door, that door is gonna fit, but it wouldn't have before. And I wasn't able to see that until I cut that skin off. So that's why you don't just go and start cutting everything out. You wanna take it in pieces so you can use the pieces that are here to actually help you work. So because this panel's damaged, I'm actually just gonna grind them all off. I was gonna drill them out, but I'm gonna continue drilling them because we're gonna end up changing this reinforcement panel. This is the inner A-pillar reinforcement. This ties everything in for strength. And we're gonna change this out in one piece because it goes all the way up here. We'll end up taking the windshield frame off. The dash is gonna have to come out. So that's all part of it. Right now, get this cut off. I'm gonna section it up here. I'm gonna section it to a point where I can just cut it off and leave the top. That way I can do this without pulling the windshield and dash right now. Like I was saying earlier, to dissect this. So we're gonna have this off and this off here really quick. And then we'll be to the inside to where we can start fixing that stuff.
Just finishing up the masking job.
And then what's next?
I think paint, but I could be wrong. I've known to be wrong.
Like, don't you have to like clean them and prime them first?
Oh, you're talking about wax and grease remover and blow tack and static.
Yep.
Oh, look at it. So this is why we took that off. If I'd have known, oh no, it's got a plug weld, yeah. It's bolted and it's got a spot weld right there. The factory, oh I see. We've got the door catch bolted into this panel. We'll have to dig out all this and figure out what's going on up top. But we got that hinge pillar support off. We're gonna be replacing that because it was damaged. Now, I'm gonna work on getting this disconnected and this disconnected and then that completely off. Ah! See the spot weld. So don't do as I do on that. Never, ever, ever use an open flame on a vehicle unless you're a highly skilled and qualified individual that's not like me. Okay, that is disconnected. Now I'm gonna go grab a socket. We'll get the front all undone. And I'll show you guys the panel that we're actually trying to get to. You'll see what we're up against because we've got a crushed firewall, a few other odds and ends. So this is the big piece that needs changed. I'm not gonna throw it because it's got some stuff on it we need. All that work to remove that, but that's how you do this. What we're gonna end up doing now is this panel is gonna have to get changed. The dash needs to come out, the windshield needs to come off, and then we can get in here and actually fix the buckle in this firewall and get this all straightened out to where we can start rebuilding this back out. We've got a brake booster that's damaged, master cylinder that needs changed. We've got a few things up in here that need done. But that's as far as we're gonna go on this for now because we don't have parts. I'm gonna wait till we get the windshield off and get the dash out. And that way we can get that panel out. Let's go check on Hillbilly and see where he's at and see what we need to do to get that bike primered. All right, so Hillbilly's spent the majority of the day getting these all prepped out, getting them all laid out to where we can get them primed. He's just about got it all masked up, but Hillbilly's wife has a birthday. So he's taken off to go take her to dinner. So wish her a happy birthday in the comments. You're only gonna see him for a couple more minutes, and then I'm gonna come back tomorrow, get these all primed up for him, and his engine is showing up.
You gonna get it installed too?
No, heck no, we gotta paint it first, but he's got a new engine coming, so we're pretty excited about that. Yeah. Oh, you polished it. He's polishing the aluminum. That is cool. All right, so we're getting this all wax and greased. We're gonna get this bike all primer. Hillbilly's got the rags, the wax and grease. He's gonna spray it all, we'll wipe it. We're gonna metal edge, plastic, and heat promote it, and then get some primer on this thing. And then this bike, we'll let it sit for a little bit and get it ready for paint.
So getting all the parts waxed and greased, that way Robby can blow tack and static it, get it primed.
All right, so I'm gonna blow tack and static this, get some edge down, and then we have to let the edge sit for 15 minutes. All right, so I'll grab the gun, we'll get some edge down, let that sit. All right, so we got it all primed. I got 3 coats of high-build primer. Now I'm gonna go and I'm gonna guide coat everything. That way, when we go to sand it, we can see where we've sanded. We got this all guide coated. Now, we've got a special thing that showed up. The new Ultima 127 engine showed up. Now, the reason we went with an Ultima is one of you awesome viewers reached out to us and you happen to have a brand new, in the box, sitting in a corner of your garage, Ultima 127 for the past 10 years. So, it's here. That means that's the final piece of this puzzle. All we gotta do is paint everything, put it back together, and we're slapping an engine in. So what we have here is a brand new Ultima 127, but this is a 2013. It sat in the back of the fan's garage until he saw that we needed it. So, thank you. He asked to remain anonymous, so I don't even know his name. But thank you for bringing it up. Thank you for letting us buy it from you. We appreciate it, and we can't wait to get it put in that bike. But that's pretty much it. We gotta sand some fenders and get them painted, but as always, we appreciate you. If you enjoyed this video, go check out this one.